What is good, my friends? It's your favorite YouTube dealer. We got some new time MacDonald, which I'm excited for. It's called Facts, and it's featuring Ben Shapiro, which is really interesting. I'm just curious if he drops bars, which I've got to hear if that happens, or if he's just in the video and he's utilizing his name because it might bring in an audience that may not normally click on his music videos. Not that he needs clicks. My man does numbers, but you know it's going to bring in a whole different audience of people that may not even listen to rap music. So only one way to find out. Let's dive in. Let's see what they're cooking with on this one.
They call me offensive, controversial. There's only two genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message cause I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, alright. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't get it. Go.
Okay, I like the flow switch, and I like how he comes in because my man he starts off right away in all his songs. And he speaks facts, just like the hoodie says, you know, I don't care if I offend you. The gender thing is interesting. We just did a video over on Tribe Talks, and I want to say that it had Charlie Kirk in it, and he was debating with somebody about genders, and I don't really get the gender thing. I'm always going to say, listen, if you're an adult, do what you want to do. Like, if you want to transition, like, it doesn't affect my life at all. It doesn't matter what my opinion is on it. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. You do what you got to do, just like I'm going to do what I have to do in my life. But this whole pushing, like, yo, there's hundreds of genders, and you all have to acknowledge them, is just really odd to me. Like, I've seen videos on TikTok we've done reactions to over there where, like, a girl was like, you know what? I want to identify as a moon or something. I want moon pronouns. And it wasn't a joke. It was legit. And people backed it. And I'm just like, how? And then this whole, like, they, them, and they, them, and just these odd different things that come from it. And, like, you know, why don't I identify? I agree with you. I don't get it. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. Although I don't care if I offend you because I don't feel as if I'm being offensive. I'm just genuinely saying I don't understand it. Like, it just, from a realistic standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I've not heard any arguments that do. And so, you know, it's just interesting that he says that to start it off, and we literally just dropped that video the other day.
Offensive, controversial. There's only two genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message because I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, alright. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't get it. Go woke, go broke, no hope is pathetic. Pro-choice, pronouns, pro-love, you're progressive. But you ain't pro-gun, no wonder protected. Where the American flag's at? Remember when people would hang those? They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you.
Yeah, it's crazy because he's right. I feel like when I was younger, you would see a lot more American flags. Now you don't see them that much. I don't feel like where I live, there's a lot of BLM or rainbow flags or any of that stuff, to be honest with you. It seems like there's just no flags at all. It's more so just people putting up stuff that they like. Like, it might be I don't want to say cartoon characters, but you know what I'm saying? Like something that's completely separated from all of that stuff. But I've said many times, I don't like any of the Lives Matter movements because I feel like it just brings about more divisiveness than it does any good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my own personal opinion. Obviously in life, there's things that do need to change, things that should be open to discussion, stuff like that. But a lot of these Lives Matter movements are just, I just feel like it's more separation. I feel like we're just causing more divide amongst people. And you're not going to get anybody that really feels against something like that. Like, if there's a person out there that's actually racist, they actually don't like black people, right? They're not going to suddenly be like, oh, wow, Black Lives Matter. Huh. You know what? You're right. I'm with you guys. Like, that's not going to happen, right? So it's just like, I don't know. It's just very odd to me. It's the same thing when it comes to the other stuff. Like, I'm not saying that people shouldn't learn to be accepting of everybody, that we shouldn't fight for that kind of stuff happening all over. But these groups are getting to the point where now it's like, it's causing so much divide amongst people that are actually on the same side, that now people that aren't racist are being labeled as racist, or people that aren't against something are being labeled against it, just because they may not rock with every single thing, or they don't want to get behind some movement or something like that, right? It's just become a very odd time over the past like 4+ years, you know, and I do feel like it started to move very strongly in a certain direction around 2020, you know, give or take, but somewhere around then is when stuff just started to get really wild to me.
You can cry and you can scream, you can riot in the streets, you defunded the police, now there's no one to protect you, I hope I offend you.
That's another thing. I don't mean to keep pausing, but this man brings up topics, right? The whole defund the police. Like, that does not make sense to me. Like, if there is a certain, like, police precinct or something where they've been known to actually be against certain people, or they're doing certain things that they shouldn't be doing. Should we correct that? 100%. 100%. But to say that all cops are bad is one of the dumbest things ever, because I've had great interactions with cops as well as bad interactions with cops, right? And it's just like it's just no different than people that I come across in the world. Sometimes there's good people, sometimes there's bad people. It just sucks when those bad people get into jobs where they have a position of power and they can utilize that, right? But it doesn't mean that we should label everybody, because it's the same thing that we fought against, right? Like if you see a black person go and they rob a store, it's not fair if everyone's like, yo, all black people do that. All black people are thugs. All black people, right? Like, it's not fair. So why would we do that to anybody else? Like, I don't really get it. And it doesn't just come from black people. I'm just speaking for black people because, it's my community. And I don't mean I'm speaking for black people, but I'm speaking of stuff that happens within my community. I can't speak for everybody, obviously. But it does come from all different races that feel like, the police are bad, defund the police. And I'm just like, listen, let's just say in your state, they do a trial, they defund the police, right? So there's barely any officers available. They can't really afford them. And then, what I'm saying? People start going and robbing places and your house gets hit up. You have to call somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the whole, some states allow you to have a weapon yourself and you could defend yourself and stuff like that. But that it's just going to lead to anarchy, right? And I'm not saying that I'm against somebody having a weapon to protect themselves, but I'm just saying that you need extra levels of protection, right? In my own personal opinion. And it's the same reason why we need laws and rules and stuff like that. As much as we'd like to believe that people have elevated and evolved and we're all good and everything like that, if suddenly they just came out with an announcement that said, you know what, all laws no longer exist, just do whatever you want. Do you really think this stuff is going to continue to go the way that it does? Like, we need some kind of structure to keep us within a certain boundary, or there's going to be a lot of people that go outside of that boundary, right? If all of a sudden everything broke down and, what's left in the supermarket is all that's left and we had to find and scrounge for food ourselves, and there's that last loaf of bread or that, whatever you want to call it, like two people that go in there to try to get that might be two good people, may actually fight to the death, because right now that's what you need. It's survival, right? Like, it's just, there's so many aspects that I feel like people don't consider and just don't have discussions about. And it blows my mind that we really think that without the law, that we would be able to run this world the same way that we do now, or that things would actually improve. Like, if you take law away, if you take order away, like, we're animals at the end of the day. And there's a lot of people that are going to do some wild shit. Like, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to try to kill anybody. I'm not going to try to, you know what I'm saying? But if all of a sudden the laws aren't there, and we don't have, the same structure. And so now, companies and stuff start to break down and I've got to go out and try to find food. Like, if it comes to me or you, it's going to be me, right? Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just an interesting concept. Obviously, I'm going way deeper into it than just defund the police, but it's just wild to me that people actually think that this is a benefit to us. Now, restructuring some things at times, fixing certain precincts, trying to get better training, which honestly would mean fund the police more, would not be a bad thing. But to think that without we're going to do better is absolutely crazy to me.
I ask myself what would Ben do? Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat.
Yo, Ben's actually going to drop some bars. He said, my pockets are fat. I'm curious if Ben wrote this or if Tom wrote something and Ben rapped it. That's wild. I was actually leaning more towards him just being in the video and him putting him in as a feature than him actually rapping. So this is going to be interesting.
And I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap.
I didn't realize he said my pockets are, he said, what did he say? My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat or something like that. Yo, this man already wilding right out the gate.
My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You go into prison, I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes.
Listen, it was interesting. Obviously, Ben's not a rapper, so I'm not going to sit here and judge, but like, clearly not the greatest rapper, but like for the shock value of him actually trying to rap and getting some bars in on a song, I'll give him that. I'll give him some respect for that. But yeah, obviously, there's things that you could sit and break down, like the flow, the delivery, very monotone. But it's like, it's not like this man goes about life as a rapper, so you don't expect too much going into that.
This, let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what would Ben do? Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect you. You mad, you mad, you mad. I guess it's cool to be the victim, well, I'ma be the man. You sad, you sad, you sad. You just try to get attention, being triggered's all you have. You mad, you mad, you mad. You blame everybody else for every problem that you can.
Yo, shout out to Cameron. You mad, son? You mad, son? Someone has to know what I'm talking about. That's the first thing that I thought when he did this part.
You sad, you sad, you sad. I will never say I'm sorry, I ain't taking nothing back. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what would Ben do? Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect you.
Shout out to Nova again. Always doing some dopeness with the videos and stuff like that. This was interesting. Shout out to Tom. Some people throw a lot of hate Tom's way because they don't like the fact that he kind of found this niche where he talks about shit going on in life, right? And people feel like, oh, they're all the same videos, the same stuff, the same topics and everything. And in reality, when you think about it, it's kind of like every rapper, right? Like rappers that talk about bitches and hoes, like that's their niche. And a lot of their songs kind of conform to the same kind of topic ideology, maybe different here and there. Maybe they throw in a story once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like every rapper kind of has their niche. Everybody branches out at times as well, which Tom does too, because he has some songs that aren't necessarily about this exact topic or these topics or these style of topics, whatever you want to say. So I don't know why he gets hate. I think it's, again, just he offends people, right? Like people don't like people that are just very brash and in your face about how they feel about stuff. Me, I got to stop being so polite. I'm almost too polite because I'd say I don't care if I offend people, but I feel like I do. I care a little bit too much and I don't know why. I don't mean to offend anybody though. So it's like, I still go about my life doing what I want, saying what I want, because I know that deep down, I have no problem with anybody. Like I don't have any issues with anybody. I don't, right? Like anything I say, I'm trying to say from a place of facts or just my own personal opinion on things. And I'm always open to more information, right? And I feel like, you know, it's the same with anybody, but for whatever reason, we're in this era now where it's like, if you don't just fully agree and just abandon everything that you think, every ideology that you have, whatever it is, and just follow the train, then you're suddenly a bad guy and you should be canceled and you're horrible and death threats should come your way and all these different things. And I just think that that's such a weird way of thinking. Like, I don't understand how people feel that way and don't realize that they're the ones that are really in the wrong, like, because you're not allowing there to be any kind of diversity. It's like we all just have to, you know, like it's like you're fighting for diversity, but you're against diversity of thought. You know what I'm saying? And it just doesn't make much sense. But it's just one of those things where, you know, not ever going to get everybody on board. This is just kind of the way that it is. I assume that it will change and the courses will adapt as time goes on, just like we got to this point. And we'll see where we go from here. But I like stuff like this. I enjoy it because, again, it gets me talking. It gets us having conversation. And I think that that's really necessary to have these kind of discussions. And again, anything that I say in any of these videos, it's not like it's like solid 100%, never going to change my mind on any of this. It's possible that I will. I don't know about the gender thing because I just don't think that it makes much sense. And I think that we're going to get to a point as a society where we realize that and we kind of reel it in a little bit. And again, that's just my opinion. And you could disagree with me, just like I could disagree with yours, but it doesn't mean we have to be enemies. That's the part that I don't really get. This whole, like, if we aren't in full 100% agreement, we're enemies. all my life, I've not agreed with my friends on everything, my family on everything, but they're not my enemies, right? Like we just accept that we have different thought processes. We have different things and different values at times. And that's okay. As long as neither of us are going out there and trying to spread hate and trying to hurt people specifically and do things like that, then I don't get what the problem really is. So I don't know. Anyways, shout out to Tom. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Ben. Yo, Ben's an interesting man. I've done some reactions to him over on Tribe Talks as well. He's a very brash individual, we'll say. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.